or from any one of the Raptor team members. Check it out, $10 a piece for you. It'll be a great memento of a great show. Tim, Max, everybody, thank you, buddy. Woody, Phil, thanks you guys. And as these guys taxi back, right overhead, we've got the Sabre.
We're going out throw the stick in the truck. Here it comes.
Now is Al Kennedy. Taxis by, along with Captain Ed Colfer in the back seat of the of the F-50 Strike Eagle, and Major Max Mogan goes by in the F-22 Raptor. I want you to see some of the most incredible formation flying you will see any place. What we have here being flown in the lead in the P-51 Mustang, one of the premier fighters of all of World War II, being flown by United States Navy retired Captain Dale Snort Snodgrass, and on his wing in a Korean-era air superiority fighter, both built by North American Aviation, both some of the finest of their airplanes of their time, are being flown in the Sabre V Mustang demonstration. Formation flying at its best. Ed Shipley, a 50-year-old guy who has established himself as a great director in the world of video. He is also one of the best formation pilots out there. He is visually married to a spot of paint on the bottom of that P-51 Mustang being flown by Dale Snodgrass. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen, tucked in tight, occasionally almost looking like one airplane. Now they're going to split off and we're going to see a little demonstration of each of these planes. Air Force called it the Texan, but irrespective of that, it was a very, very well-built airplane. The British loved the way that the North American Aviation built airplanes, and they said, listen, what we'd like you to do is to build P-40 Warhawks for us under license. And so the folks at North American Aviation, Dutch Kindleberger, the president, and his chief designers, Edgar Schmid and Lee Atwood and Ray Rice, said, give us 120 days and we'll build you a brand new airplane. And they built the Mustang. With a top speed of 425 miles per hour, it was initially outfitted with an Allison V12 engine. It did not perform well enough at high altitudes for the Royal Air Force, so they said, tell you what, we'll put a Rolls-Royce Merlin V12 engine in it, and that was the power plant married to the airframe that made the Mustang what it was. With over 15,000 Mustangs built, there are about 150 remaining in flight anywhere in the world. And today, this Mustang is being flown by a retired Navy captain who has the distinction of having flown more hours in the United States Navy's F-14 Tomcat than any other person in the world, with over 4,800 hours of Tomcat time and 1,200 carrier-arrested landings. Ed Shipley has flown everything from World War II trainers like the T-6 all the way up to 747 jumbo jets and P-51 Mustangs. And these two guys are doing a formation demonstration that will knock your socks off. The F-86 Sabre jet had a top speed of just past the speed of sound in a shallow dive. It could literally break the sound barrier. Powered by a J-47 jet engine with about 6,000 pounds of thrust. Dale Snodgrass is going to go out into the back course, and let's take a look as Ed Shipley dives towards show center in this F-86 Sabre jet. Early in the Korean War, this is one of the earliest jets that was flown by the United States Air Force. And early in the Korean War, Americans were being totally outclassed in the air because they had often piloted by talented Russian pilot. Well, the F-86 was hurried into production in 1950, and when it got to the Korean conflict, this aircraft became the air superiority fighter of the Korean War, giving the Americans a between 7-to-1 and 10-to-1 victory ratio in the skies over North Korea. Similar appearance called the FJ Fury, the FJ3 and the FJ4. Babette Lapworth, meet your grandkids at the Lost and Found. Babette Lapworth, meet your grandkids at the Lost and Found. Ed Shipley was also a member of the Six of Diamonds T6 acrobatic team. He flew as a wingman and as team leader. He's also the founder of AirshowBuzz.com. And if you haven't heard of AirshowBuzz.com, when you get home tonight, go to the World Wide Web and type in AirshowBuzz, and it'll take you to a free online virtual hangar, if you will. It's our air show community, and we invite you to join us there. It is a great place to see some great videos about air shows, great photos to criticize good flight views who come to air shows and enjoy themselves, and forums with reviews about air shows, with information about your favorites. He's an artist. He's a great formation pilot. And now, from the right, pulling up into the show box, is that man who has more time in the Tomcat than anybody else. And because the Tomcat is now retired, no one will ever have more hours in the Tomcat than Dale Snodgrass. He was the son of a test pilot. He was born on Long Island. He attended the University of Minnesota on a Naval Reserve Officers Training Corps scholarship. He was a member of the swim team, an All-American member. He graduated with a Bachelor of Science in Biology and got into flying. He was the first flight school graduate to be selected for F-14 Tomcat training. He was the first non-fleet experienced pilot to carrier qualify in the F-14, both day and night carrier qualifications. He was selected as the Navy's Fighter Pilot of the Year in 1985. He was selected by Grumman Aerospace, the manufacturer of the Tomcat, as the Tomcat of the Year for the best F-14 pilot in 1986. And he was the Tomcat flight demonstration pilot from 1985 to 1997. He retired from the Navy on June 1st, 1999, after 26 years in the Navy, and now flies at air shows from one coast to another. One of the most talented pilots anywhere in the world. He led 34 missions in Desert Storm as the overall Strike Force fighter lead. He's won 3 air medals for valor during Operation Desert Storm, 2 meritorious service medals for exceptional service in a position of senior leadership. Never seen that famous picture of an F-14 Tomcat almost at the same level as the deck of an aircraft carrier with a couple of animals right on the deck. That picture of that Tomcat had a caption under it that said the pilot was grounded for 30 days. Not so. That was an at-sea air show for families and dependents of the carrier fleet members, and that was actually the pilot flying that out grounded, but that's who he is. Ed Shipley, now pulling sharply to the left. You see that beautiful line of that airplane? It was the first swept-wing Air Force fighter that the Air Force ever had, and led to the development of so many other planes like the F-100 Super Sabre, also built by North American, the first jet fighter in America that broke the sound barrier. The Mustang served in every theater of the war and was considered to be one of the little friends. Early in the war, the bomber crews, when they would take off from England with 10 airmen in each bomber, hundreds of bombers going across the English Channel, and vitamin water. Whether you're doing flips in your F-18, flips off a diving board, or just flipping burgers, it's important to remain hydrated. That's why We recommend some nutrient-packed and low-in-calorie vitamin water with 15 different functionalities. Vitamin water does everything from giving you focus when flying your fighter jet to restoring your energy during a long hungry afternoon. The vitamin water is easier to deliver to the bar budget. Actually, bring a little flippant from our very easier version. One of some of the most maneuverable aircraft in the world. And those are the Ram Air canopies of the Blackwater USA Parachute Team and